park this past week.
The pitch. 0-2 is going to miss down low for a ball. 1-2. Mariners lead at 5-0. Bases empty here in the top half of the sixth. As Arndt awaits the fourth pitch of his at-bat, here it is. He's going to chop it over foul down the third base side and stay alive at 1-2. Carrier on deck. He homered in the second and walked in the fourth. Came around to score both times, 2 of the 5 Harwich runs, including the most recent one. Here comes the 1-2 to Arndt. He's going to chop it up the middle. Tough play for the second baseman. Olmstead throws across his body, and not in time. Brian Arndt, an infield single. Olmstead had to come over to the left side of the infield to field the ball before he could make the throw, and it was an on-target throw, just too slowly hit, and Arndt going to be in there using his speed there. And he's got the 6th hit of the ballgame for the Mariners, who've had exactly one in each of the first 5 innings.
Not the biggest characteristic for a lot of catchers, especially in the MLB, but Arndt not giving up on the play that time.
Lorenzo Carrier digs into the stretch now as Hope, and he watches strike 1 go by just below the knees. Tough strike call, but Carrier, such a big frame, kind of interesting to see how he'll make the adjustment to this strike zone. As Hope comes set, drops his glove from his head to his belt, and takes a look over at the runner at first, Brian Arndt. He's been caught stealing once this year. Threat to go, got some pretty good speed for a catcher, as we just saw him, of course, leg out that infield single. Here comes the pitch to Carrier. It's going to be in there once again, a similar spot, maybe a little higher, and it's 0-2.
Leiter at 6'4", Hope at 6'5", facing the mammoth-sized Carrier here. Interesting to see how he favors the righty-righty matchup here against another tall pitcher.
The pitch. This is going to be flared into shallow right center field. Long run for Micheletti Jr. He dives and is able to make the catch. Eddie Micheletti Jr. showing off the range there as he's able to haul it in and take a hit away from Carrier. He's retired for the first time tonight, and there will be one away.
Carrier just got a little bit too far under that one, but it almost got lost in a Bermuda Triangle in shallow right center. Micheletti Jr., similarly to Arndt, just showing an extra mile or an extra sense of motor on that play, just to be able to get to the ball in time and fight off Olmstead from second.
Digging in now is Ali Camarillo, and we'll see what he can do. On the day, he's 1 for 2. Singled, but then was thrown out at second back in the 4th inning, trying to stretch it to get an extra 90 feet as Carrier had moved over to third. He's also grounded out to third. 0-1 is the count now to him. On deck, once again, the top of the order, and Jacob Humphrey. First pitch to Camarillo. Or excuse me, the next pitch, but instead it was a pickoff attempt as back over to first and in there safely is Arndt. Camarillo trying to extend this Mariner lead. They've scored in each of the last 3 innings. As the next pitch is going to be lined into center field for a base hit. Rounding second, headed over to third is Brian Arndt. He's going to be in there standing. And so it'll be runners at the corners with 1 away. And they've scored in 3 of the last 4 innings, and threatening here once again in the 6th. Second hit of the ball game for Camarillo. It's his second 2-hit game at Eldridge Park this season. The only 2 multi-hit games he's had this season have come at this ballpark. Really likes swinging it here in Orleans.
It's a huge RBI hit for Camarillo, hitting in the 9-hole today. And this Orleans pitching staff, Devin, has the 4th lowest ERA, just under 4.5 this season, but knows that not every out is given.
They've also surrendered 48 hits this season through 6 games. A tough mark as this one's fouled and will escape out of. So Humphrey able to hang in there, but yeah, 48 hits across 6 games is a tough mark, and they've surrendered 7 here to Harwich tonight. the volume of offense that other teams have been able to produce compared to the minimal offense that Orleans has been able to produce have set the stage for their 2-4 record through 6 games here. That pitch misses, gets away from the catcher, but Camarillo not willing to advance. And so the count will be 1-1.
Carp, the catcher behind home plate, risking a pass ball that time. It was in the glove and almost had to throw it down to second, particularly with the speedy Camarillo on first. Probably a wise decision still not to be taken off despite having a very strong lead off the bag.
Ball and a strike, runners on the corners to Jacob Humphrey, and they're going to take another look over at Camarillo at first, back in there safely. Five nothing Harwich here as Hope comes set once again. And next pitch. It's going to be in the dirt, down to second. The throw will get Ali Camarillo, but in to score is Brian Arndt. Mariners will take that. They sacrifice an out to take the run as Camarillo was thrown out by a decent margin. Really just got a tough jump and was thrown out, but Brian Arndt with some good heads-up base running at third base. He advances home, and it's 6-0 Harwich.
Look, that's a wise play that time. Even if you get the out at second, double steal opportunity provides the reward of being able to score another insurance run here.
Next pitch to Humphrey is going to be lined into center field for a base hit. Jacob Humphrey finally gets on the hit train in his fourth at-bat. Third time he's been on base here tonight. Pair of walks and now a single. He's been fantastic. Third hit of the inning for Harwich as they still lead at 6-0.
Harwich had 4 hits back in the 5th inning 2 nights ago at Red Wilson Field. Still lost that game, but when Harwich gets the bats going, it can get them going in a hurry.
Seaver King now digging in. Humphrey thought about leaving on the dirt ball, but eventually stayed. Seaver King on the day, in his most recent at-bat, hit a sacrifice fly to center field, which was able to chase in Carrier. He's also walked and scored and struck out looking. We'll take another look over at Humphrey, who, of course, has plenty of speed over there. Kalen Culpepper on deck, awaiting for his 4th at-bat. Should we get there? 2 away here in the inning. Runner on first is Humphrey, the pitch. That one got a pitch of Seaver King, who flips the bat aside. And he'll head down to first for his free 90. Down to second goes Humphrey, and now 2 on for Culpepper.
Again, it's the quick outs for Orleans to close out frames and keep Harwich from just adding more on the board here. It's been a consistent theme here tonight. Harwich hasn't been hitting them deep into the alleys aside from that 3-run blast from Carrier. It's just been converting on 1 and 2 out base hits that has been the story thus far.
First pitch to Culpepper set to come, and it will be on the outside corner for a strike. Culpepper is the 6th Mariner to dig in here in inning number 6. There's been 3 singles and also a hit batsman. Mariner also has been caught stealing. That was Ali Camarillo. And so the next pitch to Culpepper is going to break outside and even up the count at 1-1.
I like the approach here. You feel a little bit of pressure, but still willing to take your pitches and try and just get ahead in the count to start with.
Here comes the pitch to Culpepper. Is taking his time is Hope on the mound. And finally, it's going to be chopped foul over towards third base to make the count 1-2. Hope really just trying to create a new cadence for these Harwich batters, so they have trouble timing the baseball. Orleans really has had no answers for this Harwich order, who continues to produce. As here comes the 1-2 offering. Hope set and comes home. This is going to be chopped over towards third again, fielded by Penny. Hesitates a little bit and then fires on the first just barely in time. Culpepper almost got there. And it'll be another 5-3 put out to end the inning. But the Mariners strike for 1 as Brian Arndt singles and comes around to score. 6-0 Harwich. We'll see you for the bottom half of the 6th on the other side. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back as we head into inning number 6. Jack Penny, Eddie King Jr., and Eddie Micheletti Jr. digging in for the Orleans Firebirds, who are still hitless through 5 innings. As that one's going to be grounded up the middle, and tough play for King. This will roll on cue, and that is how the Orleans Firebirds will cash in their first hit. As finally, after 9+, Sam Armstrong relinquishes his first Cape Cod Baseball League hit.
And it was probably the softest ground ball you might have asked for without it being a comebacker off the mound, Devin. I mean, King and Camarillo to conjoin on at the second base bag, and even so, just a great diving effort.
Pickoff attempt can't get him. Back into first with a dive is Penny. First pitch to King is going to be a big swing and a miss. Eddie King Jr. is fanned twice here tonight, both at the hands of Armstrong, of course. It's 0-1. Micheletti Jr. on deck. Firebirds trail by 6, trying to get a little late offense here in the second half of the ball game. Armstrong takes another. Scannell applies the tag, but back in there with a dive is Penny. Both of King Jr.'s strikeouts have been swinging. As that pitch misses upstairs, and it'll be 1-1. Eddie King Jr. out of Louisville, a Cardinal. Chose Louisville over the University of Miami. But pretty nice decision to have to make, of course, a couple ACC clubs.
A little bit of a quiet year for Louisville, just winning 18 of its first 20, and then you consider hitting a bit of a bump in the ACC and then not even playing the ACC tournament.
Swing that time is going to make it a 1-2 count. Senior year in high school, he was all-state first team as a senior. Hit .434 with 11 doubles, 7 homers, and a 1.336 OPS to complement 26 steals. He was fantastic. He's going to ground this one over to Culpepper at third. He'll go to second for one, on to first, and not in time. Scannell with a full stretch over at first base, but Mariners will settle for the lead runner. Fielder's choice for King Jr. And there's one away.
Harwich now has 6 double plays on the season, Devin, and that time just ran into a speedier Eddie King Jr. Really great job to be able to hustle it down to first.
Micheletti Jr. now will dig in. He's grounded out to each of the middle infielders. He grounded out to Seaver King in the first and Ali Camarillo in the fourth. So here comes the first pitch to him. Breaking ball misses outside, 1-0. Armstrong trying to go as deep into this ball game as he can. The longest start this season by a Cape Cod Baseball League pitcher came from Tom Shimoleski of the Harwich Mariners when he went 6 full in a no decision. Actually, he might have been credited with the loss. Really tough circumstances. Close play over at first base. Armstrong paying some serious attention to the base runner in Eddie King Jr. Here comes the pitch. Going to miss inside. And so the count will be 1-0. Matt Halbach awaits on deck. He's been pretty banged up. Hit twice here in each of his first 2 at-bats. That one makes it a 3-0 count. Orleans really searching for some offense. Said it before. And not getting a lot to go against Armstrong. Don't wait to dip into the Mariner bullpen, as Armstrong has only given them fits. That one in there to make it 3-1. Takes a look over at the runner at first. King Jr. with a decent-sized lead. And the pitch. This is going to be lifted out into center field. Humphrey ranging over to his right. And he's under it, makes a running catch for out number 2. Covering early that time, and it paid off. 2 away here with King Jr. still on first.
And what makes Armstrong so unique as a starter here in this Harwich rotation, you get 6 strikeouts in your season opener, and then 5 1/3 on the road this time, proving he can do it.
Matt Halbach digs in. First pitch is cut on and miss for a strike. Big hack at a pitch at the letters, and it's 0-1.
He's fired strikes well. He's been able to get ahead in counts early, induce a lot of ground ball contact. It's just what you need here if you're Armstrong.
Next pitch misses up high to make it 1-1. Snap throw gets away from Scannell. We've seen Brian Arndt do that a couple times, as now over to third goes King Jr. Finally, a Mariner picks it up in carrier. Brian Arndt just forced it down to first base. No need to go for a back pick there. Wouldn't have been a very close play. And so, mistake by Arndt gets King Jr. down to third. It'll be an error on the catcher. And so, now a runner 90 feet away from breaking this shutout that the Mariners have.
And Arndt was mad at himself that time. He immediately smashed the mask once he had saw what happened down to first. Scannell was just not prepared that time for a back pick.
Next pitch is going to be popped up, foul, and it will escape out of play. But yeah, Arndt, someone who always will be aggressive at runners on the corners and take back picks over at them. Fortunately, Scannell just not ready that time, and the throw low and away from the first base bag. Halbach trying to break this shutout. The pitch. It's going to be fouled off over towards Nauset Middle School. And so we'll stay at 1-2.
Armstrong's done a good job, Devin, of not leaving the fastball too high, in addition to locating the slider that he's shown really well on the outer half. We'll see how he continues to attack the right-handed hitters here. He's really dominated, particularly here against Halbach.
The pitch. Fouled off again. Mariners, one of 4 teams to have a shutout through 9 innings this season, trying to be the first to get to 2 shutout victories. We'll see what they're able to do. That 3-0 win against Bourne, of course, was one of the shutouts, so just through 5 innings, but still, nonetheless, they will take it. As pitch misses up high, and so the count will now be 2-2 with 2 away. And King Jr. 90 feet away from scoring. Waving the bat in front of him is Halbach. Trying to stay alive. The pitch. Got him again. The 3rd time he's been hit by a pitch in the ball game. In each of his 3 at-bats, it's just, I'm not sure exactly what it is with Armstrong, but he has not been able to snap that pitch against Halbach. He is hit for the 3rd time today.
I think Armstrong tried to go with a slider on the inner half, and he's had a tough time locating his right half here tonight, particularly against the righter and Hallbach. The left-handers he's faced in the top of the order for Orleans have really not had a lot of continuity off of him. He's only allowed one base hit. It was an infield single to start off the sixth here, and to Jack Penny, as it looks like we might have a pitching change here.
Coach Engler just likes to go out and calm his guys down. I'm not sure he's going to make a move here unless he's just buying more time for the reliever. We'll see as the home plate umpire heads out there to see what the scoop is. Engler going to stick with his starter.
And maybe wise to let him finish the inning here, Devin. You have a runner on first here for Orleans, a chance to get a ground ball double play. One of Armstrong's traits, just be able to force some weak ground ball contact. And we saw it to start off the sixth here. Unfortunately for Harwich, just unable to come up with a play with it for out number one.
Jake Hyde digs in. He's been a strikeout victim twice as that pitch gets away from Arndt. And it'll be a run in for the Firebirds. So the ball gets by Brian Arndt, who's had a tough half inning. And finally, the Firebirds able to get on the board 6-1, and down to second goes Hallbach.
Arndt's been frustrated himself. That time a wild pitch. And you have a runner in scoring position again for Orleans.
That one's going to be in there for a strike to even up the count at 1-1. And yeah, frustrating for sure, especially when you think that Eddie King Jr. was over at first not too long ago and then came all the way around based on unforced errors by the catcher and Arndt. That one misses outside to make it a 2-1 count. On deck is Johnny Olmstead. Firebirds trying to chip away at this Mariner lead. It's now a 5-run margin. They got another runner in scoring position in Hallbach. The pitch. Swung on and missed. Count will be 2-2 now. Armstrong does have 6 strikeouts, searching for number 7. That would be a new season high and tie the Mariner team high this season, which was set by Andrew Armstrong of Florida State when he put up 7 strikeouts in his start. The pitch. Foul tipped and good for strike 3. Hung on to by Arndt, but the Orleans Firebirds do get 1 off of Armstrong, who's gone 6 strong innings and been fantastic. 6-1 Harwich. We'll see you in the final third of the ball game on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back. It'll be 3-4-5 due up for the Harwich Mariners 5-6-7 due up for the Harwich Mariners who lead this ball game 6-1. And for the final 3 innings on play-by-play duty, my broadcast partner, Wyatt Kopelman. Wyatt.
All right, thank you, Devin. Hunter Fitzgerald due up here for Harwich. Still holding a lead at 6-1 rather, as he takes it outside for strike number 1. We're underway here in the 7th. Harwich getting ahead 3-0 after the second on a 3-run home run from Lorenzo Carrier. 2-out RBI base hit from Matt Scannell, giving Harwich's 4th run in the 3rd. Here's the pitch. Lofted out towards center field. It's dropping, and it's into the glove of King Jr., the center fielder for Orleans, for out number 1 here. The latest reliever in the ball game, Trevin Hope here. He's the second out of the Firebirds bullpen. Relieving Clark, who went 2 2/3 innings, 2 earned runs, 3 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Fly out to center to start, and that brings up Kennedy Jones for the 4th time here tonight as he faces Hope for the first time here on the evening. Hope, the right-hander, deals. Taken for a strike on the inner half. First strike, number 1.
Mariners up to 8 hits now. The most hits they've had this season came at Eldridge Park back in the second game of the year. I believe it was 13.
Jones looking to reach for the first time today as he watches it high for ball number 1. The count is even at 1. Grounded out to second, back in the second, struck out looking in the third, and grounded out to short in the 5th. Hope now brings the hands together just below the numbers. The pitch tapped back behind home plate. It goes to 1-2. 6-1 lead for Harwich here in the top of the 7th from Eldridge Park. The Firebirds and the Mariners meeting for the second time on the season. Hope now 1 1/3 deep as the second arm out of the Firebirds bullpen. Matt Scannell on deck here for the Mariners. Here's the 1-2. Jones hacks it down the right side as it goes into the seats. For a few lucky young fans, it's 1-2.
Whitecaps able to beat the Harbor Hawks on the road 3-0 in a game that was just 2 hours and 14 minutes.
Hope trying for a strikeout here. It'd be his first. He set again, the 1-2. Lined over to the left side, and it's fair through a base hit. A wide turnaround first here for Jones. Jones charging into second. He will reach standing up. A huge one out here for Kennedy Jones, the UNC Greensboro product, standing at 6'1", 212. Gets a one-out double as he has his first hit on the night.
His 4th double of the season. That's a ball club high by 2 doubles. And he ties the league lead set by Williamson of Hyannis, who also has 4.
Prime opportunity set up here for Matt Scannell. As Karp, the catcher for the Firebirds, has a quick word with Hope on the mound here. Huge chance for Harwich to scratch across its 7th run of the game after a 3-run second and getting 1 in the 3rd and the 4th, as well as the 6th. Double steal opportunity, giving Harwich an out at second, but bringing Brian Arndt home to score. Now Hope working out the stretch again here. Here's the first pitch to Scannell, a healthy hack and a miss for strike number 1. Scannell reaching on a walk back in the 2nd, 2-out RBI single back in the 3rd to right. Struck out swinging in the 5th here. Now facing Hope for the first time here tonight with a runner on second, Kennedy Jones on the 1-out double. Light towers fully illuminated here at Eldridge Park. A cool and calm night, not too breezy. The right-hander Hope deals. Breaking ball lofted back behind home plate as it goes on to the street. It'll be 0-2 here to the Princeton Tiger.
Shocking comeback in order out in Wareham. The Gatemen trailed 5-2 heading into the bottom of the 9th. They have since knotted the game up at 5 and still up to bat. We'll see if they can walk it off against the Bourne Braves, who have really just collapsed early on. Still winless, 0-5-1.
2-strike pitch, tapped over towards the right side. Goes foul here in front of the Firebirds dugout. Scannell with already a pair of 2-hit games, I should say, this season. Has been a serious force to reckon with here for opposing pitchers. Crushed a 3-run blast for Harwich's first long ball of the season against Yarmouth Dennis back at Red Wilson Field. No lights there. Scannell has some light here. Here's the pitch. Taken on the inner half as a fastball gets called looking. Scannell strikes out for the second time here tonight, and there are 2 down here in the top of the 7th with Harwich still ahead 6-1.
Yeah, tough pitch, though, but you can't take it. Right on the border, and unfortunately just dropped right in there. Really good pitcher's pitch from Hope.
Now Brian Arndt steps up for the 4th time here tonight. Has a walk, a strikeout, and an infield single. Has already scored twice as well. Jones still off of second with a conservative lead. Foul tips it into the glove. First strike number 1. 5-run advantage for Harwich here in the top of the 7th. Facing Orleans for the second time this season on the field of Eldridge Park. 3-run home run from Lorenzo Carrier back in the 2nd. His first hit, his first long ball, and Harwich's 2nd home run of the season. A huge momentum shifter here. Hope deals the pitch. Taken inside, and it goes to 1-1 here on the UNC Wilmington Seahawk. Brian Arndt, part of an interesting duo, Devin, with Ryan Wilson. Those two have combined for more than 5 hits to start the season here. Wilson, the Davidson product, both North Carolina natives. 2 away. Hope taking his time from the third base side of the rubber. Looks back at second. The pitch. Slider misses outside. It goes to 2-1 here. Now, Brian Arntz, despite his struggles behind the dish late here tonight, you consider what he's able to bring you. He walks. He gets on base by the infield singles in addition to being able to push baseballs into shallow outfield as well. Now the pitch on the way. Tapper down the left side. It goes foul. And you could tell that Arndt was a little bit early that time, but just constantly searching for a hit, and that's what you need out of Arndt, that mix of discipline in addition to seeking some contact at the plate as well. He works with Kennedy Jones off of second with 2 down here in the top of the 7th. Harwich ahead 6-1. Hope, the reliever for Orleans, standing at 6'4", has already faced Harwich once this season. Gave up 4 earned runs back in the 9th. Now the 2-2 away. Foul back behind home plate. 2-2 again.
Arndt is really great at extending the at-bats and making it difficult for pitchers to retire him without throwing a majority of pitches or getting a ground ball. And he continues to stay alive here. We'll see if he can drive in the runner in Jones.
Big spot here for Harwich. 2-strike pitch. Fastball misses inside. Payoff pitch coming here to Arndt, the 7-hole hitter today.
Arndt does have 4 RBIs on the season, so another chance to get one. See if he's up to the task.
Arndt hitting .261 at UNC Wilmington with 18 RBIs this season. Big chance to translate that here after an infield single an inning ago. Hope's ready again. The payoff pitch misses way low. Ball 4 here, and the vacant base at first is filled here. Harwich with traffic on the base pass again. A runner on second and Jones after a 1-out double. And Arndt winning the full count battle that time as he draws his 2nd walk on the night.
3rd time he's been on base. He's just been so consistent compared to last year when you're worried about him using the bat. He batted just above 200, but his on-base percentage around 350, and he still continues to be consistent in finding ways to get on base. Here he is once again, 3rd time tonight.
Another huge spot, so similar for Lorenzo Carrier. Pitch is lined into right field. It's hooking down for a base hit through the air. Getting the wave around sign at 3rd is Jones, as he will score standing up, and right behind him is Arndt. The UNC Wilmington Seahawk will score standing up. The throw down to 3rd is going to beat Carrier. A 2-run RBI base knock here for Lorenzo Carrier, despite him getting done down at 3rd base for the final out of the 7th. But Harwich scratches across 2 more runs on 2 hits, no errors, and leaving none on base. An 8-1 lead for the Mariners, commanding going into the bottom of the 7th. We'll be right back. This is Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. 8-1 lead for the Mariners with Johnny Olmstead, Jay Casey, and Andy Blake due up here for the Orleans Firebirds here at Eldridge Park. As the first pitch is a slider clipping the upper half for strike number 1 to Olmstead. A new pitcher into the ballgame here for the Mariners after an excellent 6 innings of Sam Armstrong of Old Dominion. Pitch on the way, slider down the chute. It's 0-2. Kansas State product in Colin Rothermel making his debut, staying at 6'1", 175 here. He works quickly. 6.04 ERA, 0-2, a slider that just misses the inner half, and it's 1-2. Johnny Olmstead 0 for 2 here tonight. Has someone new to face here, Devin, making his season debut, a sophomore of Rancho Bernardo High School. Here's a 2-strike pitch, line back into the screen. We'll do it again. Steve Engler has brought in a small handful of Kansas State products this season. One of them, Kalen Culpepper, arguably Harwich's best infielder. Rothermel is ready. The right-hander deals the 1-2. Swing and a miss. First strikeout here on the Cape Cod League season for the Kansas State product in Rothermel, and it's the 8th strikeout for Harwich pitching here today, as there's one down here in the 7th.
Nice to see them getting to work early. Rothermel, yes, as you said, part of that pipeline out of Kansas State, of course. Coach Engler has some ties back there. Used to coach a little bit for the Cats, and nice for Rothermel to join his college teammate in Culpepper now in the Cape League.
Slider taken at the letters. Firebirds red script across the chest here to Jay Casey of Kent State. 0-1. Lobbed foul, and it goes to 0-2. Lobbed foul back behind home plate. Casey in his second season at Kent State hitting .249. 7 doubles, 12 home runs, 40 RBIs. Tries to stay alive here. The 2-strike pitch. Dips low, and it goes to 1-2. Casey striking out swing against Armstrong back in the second, walking with 1 out in the 5th. Slider floats outside, and it goes to 2-2. 8-1 lead for Harwich here in the bottom of the 7th from Eldridge Park. 1 run in the bottom of the 6th, unearned against Sam Armstrong. Here's the 2-2. Fastball inside as it brushes Casey off the plate. Brings a payoff pitch here. The final line on Sam Armstrong, the starter tonight for Harwich. 6 innings, 1 run unearned, 1 hit, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. The 2-strike pitch, fastball goes high, and it's a 1-out walk here for Jay Casey as he walks for the 2nd time tonight.
Yeah, Rothermel just trying to find his control earlier. We saw him get a nice strikeout at the hands of Johnny Olmstead, but then Jake Casey able to work all the way back from being down in the count 1-2. Really nice at-bat that time, and Firebirds now trailing by 7. Need offense more than ever right now.
Rothermel deals the first pitch to Andy Blake. Swung on and missed for strike number 1. Yeah, this is an Orleans team that it started to see a similar scoring drought to what it faced against Catuit 2 nights ago. Devin was scoreless through 7 innings, a team that Harwich will be playing next. Here's the 0-1. Watched high for ball number 1. Andy Blake hitting in the 8-hole here tonight. Struck out swinging back in the 3rd. Flew out to center field back in the 5th. Infielder at Duke, 6'4", 200. Rothermel set at the belt. Kansas State product deals it high, and it goes foul back behind home plate. It's going to be 1-2 as he tries for a 2nd strikeout of the frame here. Bottom the 7th from Eldridge Park. Harwich ahead of Orleans, 8-1. 2-run double from Lorenzo Carrier, giving the Mariners those 2 runs back in the 7th before he was gunned down at 3rd. Here's the 1-2. Served into the shallow infield, down to the left side, off the mound Rothermel. Instead, he ducks out of the way and leaves it for Culpepper as his Kansas State teammate covers for him well, and there are 2 away here in the 7th. How about some Wildcats helping Wildcats here?
Yeah, no kidding. They'll take it, absolutely. Nice little pop. Call off your own teammate out in a different, pretty cool experience, that is for sure.
You think they watched the Big 12 championship this past December against TCU?
Oh, I'm sure.
Good camaraderie there. The first pitch, fastball high to Owen Karp, nicknamed Karp. Karpolati, his full last name. A strikeout and a pop-out here for Rothermel of Kansas State. 2 away here in the 7th. Here's the 1-0. 2-0 here. The 7th. 1 run and 1 hit for Orleans this far. 8 runs, 10 hits, 1 error committed for Harwich. Here's the 2-0. Check swing. Carp grinding out 4-3 back in the third, flew out to left back in the fifth. Carpellotti trying to get ahead here. Swing and a miss. It's going to be 2-2 here. His account evens up to the Georgetown catcher. Hit 289 this season for the Hoyas. Started all 57 games, 44 RBIs. Carpellotti saying before the season he really likes to hit home runs. No problem with hitting singles, but people come to watch hit the fireworks. An Orleans team that certainly will need a home run here to get back into this one as the Firebirds trail 8-1. The 2-2. Fastball misses high at the letters. Full count here. Casey will likely be in motion here with 2 away. Floodlights fully on here at Eldridge Park. Quiet crowd here. Payoff pitch. Taken, gets called looking. 2 strikeouts for Colin Rothermel in his first inning on the Cape Cod Baseball League this season. He gets 1 looking, he gets 1 swinging, he gets a pop out despite a 1-out walk as Orleans scores no runs on no hits, no errors, and leaves 1 stranded. 8-1 lead going into the top of the 8th here at Eldridge Park. This is Harwich Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Eight to 1 lead for the Mariners going into the 8th inning here at Eldridge Park. Eric Orloff, left-hander of Arizona, the new pitcher on the mound here for the Firebirds after Travis Hope goes 2 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs allowed, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Orloff, the rising junior at Arizona, standing at 6'3", 215. Native of Northbrook, Illinois, in the suburbs of Chicago, one of 5 Chicago area-based players on the Arizona roster. High school graduate of Glenbrook North High School, alma mater of the former Cleveland second baseman and 2-time All-Star Jason Kipnis, who played for Catuit back in 2008, as he's set to face Ali Camarillo, Jacob Humphrey, folks, and the second baseman in Seaver King. After a 2-run inning-ending double from Lorenzo Carrier of Miami, he's had a scorching night thus far after a 3-run bomb, but nonetheless, he throttled into third and got called out as the inning closed there. The first pitch on the way to Camarillo. Texas A&M product takes it low for ball number 1. So 3 runs for Hope and 2 for Clark. The first 2 relievers out of the bullpen here for Orleans. Now the 1-0 from the lefty is spiked back behind home plate and leaves the ballpark, and it goes to 1-1. Harwich not going to get the shutout here tonight, Devin, but you look at getting that early 4-run lead going into the middle innings. Certainly supportive when you consider how Harwich knows it's never over until it's really over, giving up 4 runs at Yarmouth Dennis 2 nights ago. Here's the pitch from the southpaw in Orloff as it misses outside. It goes to 2-1 to Camarillo. Lefty-righty battle here. The 2-1 on the way to Camarillo. Fastball clips the inner half, and it goes to 2-1. 2-2, excuse me. Camarillo grounding out to third back in the second. Single to center field in the fourth. Did the same in the sixth here. Had 2 hits against Orleans in Harwich's visit on Sunday. The 2-strike pitch. A swing and a foul tip, and it's going to get dropped out of the glove of Carl Pilati as he fires down to first in time. Drop third strike, and it's the 8th strikeout for Orleans pitching here tonight.
Yeah, kind of a weird little play there. Camarillo didn't know that the ball was dropped, and nice, easy play that time for Carl Pilati. So after some control to start, we saw Orloff really settle in the second half of that at-bat, and we'll see what he can do as he heads to the top of the Harwich order.
So 1 out here for Humphrey stepping in. The center fielder takes it low for ball number 1. Colin Rothermel, if you're just joining us, making his debut in the 7th. Only facing 4 batters, a pair of strikeouts. Only allowing a 1-out walk. Pitch. Lofted out towards left field, dropping quickly, and it's down for a base hit in left field. A single for Jacob Humphrey. He has his second base knock on the night after singling back in the 6th, as he has 2 walks to go with it as well. And there's a 1-out base runner here for Harwich in the 8th.
Yeah, he's really made us eat our words. On base 4 times here tonight. He's been sensational out of that leadoff spot here at Eldridge Park. It'd be nice to see him string a few games like this together because he makes such a difference at the top of that Harwich order when he's getting on base this consistently.
Here's Seaver King back up. Takes it outside for ball number 1. 8-1 lead for Harwich with 1 away in the top of the 8th from Eldridge Park. Harwich winning its last meeting here 10-3. The pitch taken outside. It's 2-0. King struck out looking back in the first, walked in the third, hit a sacrifice fly in the fourth. Give Harwich a 5-0 lead then. Reach as a hits batsman back in the 6th. Runner on first, Jacob Humphrey after the 1-out base hit. Working out of the stretch here, Orloff. The pitch spiked over the netting, and it goes to 2-1.
If you're Harwich, why let up now? I mean, got a chance to produce some more offense, take these swings. You're going up against the #1 team in the Cape Cod Baseball League tomorrow in Katuitt, who's 5-1.
The 2-1 on the way. Orloff misses low. It goes to 3-1.
And they're going to be a tough customer, so you got to be ready to swing the bats tomorrow. You don't have time for this dilly-dally and score in the second half of the ball game. You're going to really have to come out hot if you want to have a chance to beat the Kets.
Harwich lead hitting out of King, who looks for his first hit here. The 3-1 goes low and sets a 5-pitch walk. That moves Humphrey into second here as there's traffic again here in the 8th for Harwich. Base runners galore here in the 7th and 8th still for Harwich. King gets his second walk of the night. And Kalen Culpepper comes back up looking for his first hit since the opening frame.
Yeah, but top of the order has been on 8 times between the top 3, and that's a pretty good rate. 4 of those from Humphrey, 3 from King, and then 1 from Culpepper. Let's see what he can do here.
Strike taken high to the Kansas State product in Culpepper. Rising junior at Kansas State. Hit a 3-run home run with 5 RBIs in the Big 12 tournament elimination game this spring as he swings and foul tips it back behind home plate for strike number 2. He was third on the Wildcats in average, Devin, so aside from his magnificent work on the left side of the infield, someone who can bring a strong sense of contact hitting to the top third of this Harwich lineup. Had a single to left back in the first, struck out looking in the third, and grounded out twice since. On second, Humphrey. On first, King here. 0-2 on the way. Just foul tips back behind home plate. And we'll keep it here at 2-2. 0-2, rather.
Another dangerous part is this backstop at Eldridge Park. Got some serious bounce to it. The ball really flies off there when it hits it. Makes it difficult if you're looking to steal a base on a pass ball or if the catcher's trying to recover sometimes. Might kick away from him.
2-strike pitch again. Served out towards left field. Down for a base hit. Rounding third, Jacob Humphrey. He will stop right there as he gets the stop sign. Bases loaded here for Harwich with still 1 away in the 8th as Humphrey gets into third, King into second, and Kalen Culpepper keeps the line moving here.
Most runs Harwich has scored in a ball game was 10 right here at Eldridge Park. They're sitting on 8 right now. 3 runners on and just 1 out, a chance for some serious damage heading into your 2 biggest power hitters in the lineup between Hunter Fitzgerald and Kennedy Jones.
Well, Devin, we talked about the quality that Culpepper brings with the contact hitting. He really let that one hang in the air for about a half second, if not longer, as Fitzgerald watches one down the middle for strike number 1. Orloff still out of the stretch here, the third reliever out of the Firebirds bullpen. 8-1 Harwich leads, 1 away here in the top of the 8th. The pitch, taken low, it's 1-1.
We got another final. Bourne, who was on top of Wareham 5-2, searching for their first win in the 9th inning, blew a 3-run lead. It was sent to extras where Bourne took a 6-5 lead and would go on to get walked off on 7-6. Demoralizing start to their season.
1-1 dips low. Orleans at 2-4, Harwich at 3-3. The Mariners looking to get out of no man's land in the Cape Cod East standings. Meanwhile, Katuitt at 5-1 on the other side of the league at first place. Hyannis at 3-3, a little bit more of a disparity there. 2-1 on the way. Lofted back behind home plate over towards the road, and it goes to 2-2. Bases loaded here for Harwich with only 1 out after Ali Camarillo struck out swinging to start the 8th here. Harwich with 2 scored in the 7th and 1 in the 6th has not let its foot off the gas pedal here. The 2-strike pitch from Orloff. Swing and a miss. Fitzgerald goes down on strikes for the second time here tonight as he falls to 2 for 4 with a walk as there are 2 away to set up Kennedy Jones to try and bring home at least 1.
Tough at bat for Fitzgerald, just a low pitch, and then once the string was pulled, nothing he could do with such a tall figure. Had to go down and try and golf it, couldn't catch up, and really good strikeout pitch for Orloff.
Orloff, the lefty, deals a swing and a miss here to Jones for strike number 1. Bases loaded here for Harwich, now 2 away, both by the strikeout. Humphrey on third, on second King, on first Culpepper. Jones 1 for 4 on the night. The pitch, swung on and missed. It's 0-2 to the UNC Greensboro products. Right-handed hitter here for Harwich. Has 1 2-hit game on the season as he looks to make it 2 here with a double to left field back in the 7th. Bases juiced here for Harwich. The 0-2 pitch. Slider sails outside. It's 1-2. Now you mentioned Fitzgerald's had to protect there. Jones trying to do the same here. Huge spot already for Harwich with plenty of insurance runs to its name here tonight, trying to push across some more here. The 1-2. Lofted down the left field line, and it's slicing foul. Jones just going a little early that time, and you could tell that he was eager to get out of the box that time to bring home for what had been at least 2 had it stayed fair on the chalk.
Yeah, he really wanted that one. Just a little too eager and slapped it just foul, but some good contact. He's showing signs of life. That's something that we really have enjoyed seeing out of Jones. Is he's got this ridiculous amount of power, and once he's able to barrel up a ball in situations like this, that's going to go levels for the Mariners because they've really struggled with situational hitting outside of today. And if you can get Jones going, that's going to be a big part going forward.
Here's a 1-2 from Orloff. Lofted out towards right field. It's high and it's deep. Moving to his left. Casey, he looks up. And that ball is out of here. A grand slam for Kennedy Jones after he doubles at his prior at-bat. And the Harwich Mariners are blowing it open here at Eldridge Park, now leading 12-1 here in the 8th.
He had a pair of doubles last game here. This time he cashes in for his second extra base hit once again. This one, a big fly way out to left center field. Cleared the fence by a lot. A blast to really blow this thing open. 12-1 is the Mariner lead now. What a swing from Jones.
So 2-out night comes alive for Jones, and now it's over to Matt Scannell as the left-hander takes a fastball high for ball number 1. The 1-0 on the way. Taken on the inner half with the knees, and it's 1-1 here to Scannell.
Feels pretty identical to that Wareham game in which they had a pretty hefty lead, sizable, and then they put up 4 or maybe 6 in the 8th inning, and then eventually the Gatemen would go on to win 12-1. Feels very similar.
One concern with Harwich in that game was just not getting enough runners in scoring position home, following 12-1 at Spillane Field. A two-strike pitch from Orloff. Chopped over towards the right side. High grab for Blake. He fires on to first in time. Final out of the 8th inning as Blake moved quickly to his left and zipped it over to first. But Harwich answering with an erupting 8th inning, scoring 4 runs on 2 hits and leaving none on base. A 12-1 lead going into the bottom half of the 8th here at Eldridge Park. You're listening to Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. A grand slam from Kennedy Jones of UNC Greensboro, moving the Mariners ahead 12-1 here in their second trip to Eldridge Park this season. As a new pitcher comes into the game here for Harwich to replace Colin Rothermel of Kansas State. After an inning, Rothermel only allowed 1 walk and retired 3 and 4 faced as Sean Hard of Boston, New Jersey makes his season debut here, returning Harwich Mariners pitcher this season. Dealt 2 strikeouts last season as he rocks and fires the first pitch, and it's taken high for the leadoff hitter tonight for Orleans.
Yeah, he pitched just 1 game in Harwich before being cut last year. It was a tough go for him. Surrendered a 9.00 ERA. And yeah, he just had a tough ride here in college after being a New York Yankees draft down back in 2021.
Hard is ready again. Here's the pitch. Taken for a strike there. It's going to go to 1-2 here. Hard for Harwich, 6'5", 210. Regional. Here's a 2-strike pitch. Fastball taken on the inside corner as it gets called looking. Penny goes down on strikes for the first time here tonight. The 10th strikeout for Harwich pitching as it's 1 up and 1 away here for the right-hander of Boston College and Hard.
Yeah, they've looked really locked in, haven't they, down on the mound? Still just 1 hit allowed, and to think if that dribbler had just been hit a little harder, what we would be talking about at this stage in the ballgame.
Hard working quickly, now to face Eddie King Jr. The center fielder takes it high for ball number 1. King Jr. 0 for 2 tonight. A pair of strikeouts reaches a fielder's choice back in the 6th. He works with the bases empty. A 12-1 Harwich lead. The 1-0. Big swing and a miss. It goes to 1-1 here. Hard finishing his second season at Boston College of the Atlantic Coast Conference with 11 earned runs allowed and 14 strikeouts through 7 appearances. Here's the 1-1 from Hard. Taken for a strike high and goes to 1-2. 11-run lead to protect here for Hard. The right-hander deals the pitch. Served out towards left field, and it's going to drop quickly for a base hit in front of Jones and Humphrey. 1-out base runner here is Eddie King Jr. He picks up his first hit on the night. And there's a 1-out base runner here for Eddie Micheletti Jr. And the top third of the lineup for Orleans, Devin, has been handled so well here tonight. As a matter of fact, that's just the second base hit and the first hit to leave the infield here tonight to speak a lot about what Sam Armstrong, in addition to what Colin Rothamel were able to hold up, but more so Armstrong, given that Rothamel didn't really face the top third of the Orleans lineup. Now the first pitch to Micheletti Jr. Take it for a strike. Check swing. 12-1 lead for Harwich after a grand slam from Kennedy Jones back in the top of the 8th. The sun is fully set. There's one on here in the 8th. Slider taken inside as it backs Micheletti Jr. off the plate.
Yeah, Matt Howlback standing on deck, shaking in his boots. He's been hit 3 times by pitches. At least he's been on base 3 times, but yeah, tough way to do so.
1-1 inside. It just at the shoe tops on a slider. It goes to 2-1.
Only other active game is 6-0 Katuitt in the top of the 6th over in Chatham.
It's going to be a tough test for Harwich tomorrow to get past the run production that Katuitt has had this season. The 2-1 on the way. Lofted foul, and it clears the Harwich bullpen as well as the dugout. Right onto the grass for a couple of lucky young fans who have deviated from the typical seating of the hill here at Eldridge Park. It's a smart seat on the left field line. You're behind the visiting dugout and the bullpen. You're able to just get a different perspective on the game. So it's going to be 2-2 here. Pitch. Bounces in front of home plate and gets away from the catcher and Arndt. Into second standing up will be Eddie King Jr. That time a wild pitch, and for Brian Arndt, he's had a ton of troubles behind the plate here tonight. No errors committed by the Harwich defense, but you have to consider that's a quick block you have to make, especially if you're working with a new reliever on the mound.
Yeah, absolutely. But, you know, with the offense that Harwich has been able to put together, you can afford to have a few errors. That's the luxury of having such consistent production. 13 hits ties the season high for the club, and they have 12 runs, which is a new season high.
Hard, the right-hander in his first inning here tonight. He winds and deals the 3-2. Lofted back behind home plate foul as it goes onto the road, and we'll do the payoff pitch again. Micheletti Jr. grinding out twice in the first and the fourth, flew out to center back in the 6th. On second, Eddie King Jr. after a one-out base hit to left field as the Firebirds trail the Mariners 12-1 here in the bottom of the 8th. The payoff pitch again from Hard. Lofted out towards left field, running back Humphrey, running back to the track. He makes the catch to his right, and that will keep King stationed at second. Jacob Humphrey covering so much ground here once again here tonight next to his debutant in right field and Lorenzo Carriers, who are 2 away in the 8th.
It's a good thing Eddie King didn't elect to run on him as Humphrey, when he threw the ball, and it was a seed right over to Culpepper at third base. Hit him right in the belt area. Perfect throw.
Now Matt Hallback coming up for the first time since facing the new reliever in Hard. First pitch on the way. Big swing and a miss on a fastball for strike number 1. First time he's looking to get on base, not by a hits batsman. As Devin mentioned earlier, just shaking in his shoes here tonight. Stands in courageously, the 0-1. Swung on a hit out towards left field, and it bounces down for a base hit, rounding third King Jr. As he gets the wave around sign, he will score standing up. 2 out, base knock this time from Matt Hallbach after reaching all 3 times as a hits batsman. He has an RBI base hit as the Firebirds now cut it to a 10-run game, trailing 12-2 here in the 8th.
Yeah, just got to tip your cap. He's had a decent game on base 4 times. That'll help your on base percentage, that is for sure.
Now back over to Jake Hyde off the 2-out RBI base hit from Hallbach. Hyde hitting in the 5-hole today, victim of 3 strikeouts. The first pitch from Hard, as it's a swing and a miss for strike number 1.
Yeah, trying to avoid that ever-feared golden sombrero that he's on the verge of.
From Hard, fastball swung on a miss. It's quickly 0-2 here with 2 away in the bottom of the 8th. Harwich 12-2 lead for Harwich, despite a base hit from Matt Hallback, the cleanup hitter. RBI hit, getting the Firebirds their second run on the night in the 8th. Moving into the top of the 9th here, Brian Arntz, Lorenzo Carrier, and Ali Camarillo, the lower third of the lineup, due up here against the new pitcher into the ball game, hero right-hander out of UC Davis in Danny Carrion at 6'3", 190, rising fifth-year senior, native of Winters, California. Just about 20 minutes from Sacramento. 3 at the letters inside for strike number 1. Wyatt Kopelman, Devin Doback, evening. We appreciate you spending your Sunday night with us. The floodlights have come on here at Eldridge Park. 0-1. Fastball taken down the pipe. It's 0-2. Arntz on the night, earning a pair of walks around a strikeout and an infield single to lead off the 6th inning. It's been a very diverse night from Arntz, the Holly Springs, North Carolina native. 0-2. Slider swung on and missed, and he goes down on strikes for the second time here tonight. Now, it's been 10 strikeouts for this Orleans staff, 10 strikeouts for Harwich's staff here tonight. Very much resemblant of what we saw on opening day. Both pitchers have had their high-speed command, in addition to some sliders, but it's been a lot of hits at the expense of that Firebirds pitching as well.
Yes, it really has been, but you'll take the array of offense as long as you're able to put runs on the board. It doesn't matter how you do it. It's that you can do it, and Harwich done a great job of being consistent. They have scored runs in 6 of the first 8 innings here tonight.
0-1, a swing and a miss for strike number 2 to Lorenzo Carrier. A 3-run home run back in the 2nd, giving Harwich its first lead on the night. Had a 2-run double despite the inning closing in the 7th as he takes it high and inside. Goes to 1-2 here. Thrown out 9-2 to 5 at third, despite drawing in 2 runs in Arntz and Kennedy Jones. Carey have to protect here. The 1-2. Fastball swung on and missed. The second strikeout here already for the newest man in the ballgame in Carrion. As the 11th strikeout for Orleans pitching. Ali Camarillo has a chance to come up here as Harwich might just be looking at its final chance to scratch across more base runners.
This is the 45th batter that's come up in the ball game for the Harwich Mariners. Got to be close, if not their season high. We'll have to take a double check at that, but 5th complete time through the order after Camarillo's AB.
Camarillo, the sophomore, led CSU Northridge, hitting .371 this season as he watches it low in the dirt for ball number 1. Pair of singles to center field here for the new man of Texas A&M. Grounded out to third, back in the 2nd, struck out swinging in the 8th. The 1-0 on the way. Carrier and misses high and inside. It goes to 2-0 here to Ali. He was 3rd on the team with 44 RBIs as well, despite the fact that he is now no longer at CSU Northridge, has nobody to work with here. 2 strikeouts, Harwich ahead 12-2. The pitch, lofted out towards right center field. It's about a mile high, running out from second Olmsted, instead stepping in is Micheletti Jr., and it's a 1-2-3 job here for the 4th reliever tonight for Orleans in Carrion, as the UC Davis native gets 2 strikeouts and a flyout as Harwich goes down in order. Still leading 12-2 are the Mariners going into the bottom half of the 9th. Last chance for Orleans here at Eldridge Park. We'll step aside. This is Harwich Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Pinch hitter here for Orleans to lead off the top of the 9th in Jurichiro Murama. Steps up, a southpaw here, takes one high and away for ball number 1. Oyama, the second baseman of UC Irvin, watches the 1-0 go outside, and it goes to 2-0 here. Previous school is at Merced College. Takes another fastball high. It's 3-0 here from Sean Hard, the Boston College product, pitching a relatively clean 8th inning, aside from allowing a 2-out RBI base hit from Matt Halbach. Pitch is inside, and it's a 4-pitch walk here as he fills in for Johnny Olmstead. Oyama reaches first. And that's not what you want to start getting into here if you're Hard, losing command of the zone, giving out these free passes as he now faces Jake Casey. It was 4 batters faced on behalf of Harwich's reliever in Rothermel, the Kansas State product. First pitch taken high for strike number 1 here to Casey. So Oyama reaches as a pinch hitter here in the 9th inning after Johnny Olmstead went 0 for 3 to start the night. The pitch. Slider misses inside. Casey watches it. It's 1-1 here. Runner on first is Oyama here in the bottom of the 9th. Harwich leading the Firebirds 12-2. The right-hander Hard deals. He deals a hard fastball high, and it gets swung on and missed. It's 1-2.
Pun intended there, Wyatt, huh?
I'm sure he's gotten that at times. I mean, it's an interesting name. And if you're throwing the fastball, you want it to be hard.
Multiple ways to look at that.
Check back over at first. Oyama standing up safely.
You want it to be a hard pitch, and you want it to be Sean Hard on the mound. Hard squared.
2 walks tonight for Casey after striking out swinging. Hard, the Mahwah, New Jersey native, is ready. The 1-2. Slider floats high above the letters. It's 2-2 here. 10-run lead for Harwich after a 3-run home run to get things going in the 2nd inning. Lorenzo Carrier, first hit and a home run. The 2-2. Fastball swung on and missed. 3rd strikeout here for Hard, and the 12th for Harwich pitching here tonight as there's 1 away in the 9th. Firebirds down to their final 2 chances here. The Mariners on the verge of a double-digit victory here at Eldridge Park. Firebirds have lost 3 straight going into tonight, 2-4 on the year. The first pitch swung on and missed from Andy Blake. Starting shortstop here tonight, struck out swinging in the 3rd, flew out to center field back in the 5th, popped out to the 3rd baseman in Culpepper in the 7th. He works the runner on first, and in Oyama. Pitch taken outside on a fastball. It's 1-1. Oyama reaching on a leadoff walk after Johnny Olmstead closed out at 0 for 3 with a line out, a ground out, and a strikeout. Well, 1-1 from the right-hander Hard. Slider misses high. It's 2-1. You could tell that the goal for Hard right now is just to establish some control of the box, Devin, considering that did not have the lowest ERA at Boston College this year. You mentioned his struggles after being a draft pick of the Yankees. 2-1. Fastball misses outside. 3-1.
Yeah, he's just struggling to get that control down. I'm sure it will come with time. The velocity is there, that is for sure. He's been able to pump the zone, but we'll see.
3-ball pitch from Hard. Fastball tacks the outer half, and it goes to 3-2 here. Mariners 12, Firebirds 2. Orleans, 2 more chances here. Pitch from Hard, swing and a miss. 4th strikeout here for Hard. The velocity continues to manifest itself, as you said, Devin. And it's the 13th strikeout here for the Mariners pitching staff here tonight. And you consider how that carries into Katuitt tomorrow and what that means for this Mariners pitching staff going forward. You look at someone like Hard, who is looking to take next steps here as a second-year Harwich Mariners pitcher. The first pitch to Owen Carpellotti. He's tapped over towards a right side foul. Mariners with the 5th lowest ERA coming into tonight. It's done its job in keeping the Firebirds lineup quiet here. On first, Oyama after a leadoff walk, back-to-back strikeouts since. The 0-1. Popped foul back behind home plate and behind the Mariners dugout, as Orleans is down to its final chance here, its final strike, after back-to-back strikeouts from the Mahwah, New Jersey native and Hard. Carpellotti, as they call him Big O, and Carp around here, the Canton, Michigan native, hitting .289. Boy, does he need a hit here to get a runner into scoring position. Hard is ready with the 0-2. Fastball lofted back behind home plate, and we'll do it again.
Yeah, and you just want to put a ribbon on this one at this point. It's been a solid team game by Harwich. Just the one error on this back pick by Arndt, and other than that, the offense been firing on all cylinders with the exception of the 9th inning. And just want to find a way to take this one to Katuitt.
The 0-2 again, runner goes, and it's sliced foul down the right side on the ground. As Carapolati now up to 5 pitches here in this at-bat. Start of the night, 0 for 3 here today. Grounded out to second and the third, flat out to left field back in the 5th, struck out looking in the 7th. Oyama on first here. Hard trying to lock this one down. The 2-strike pitch again. Runner goes, slider misses high and away, and it's 1-2. Now, Devin, Firebirds without a runner in scoring position since the 6th inning. You can sense the sense of urgency here as Oyama now on second. Here's the pitch. Tapped off the glove of Arndt back behind home plate. So it's still 1-2 here. Stolen base for Oyama here. Carapolati, the catcher of Georgetown, standing at 6'2", 215, a righty-lefty battle here. Carp trying to deal the final strike. The 1-2. Fastball swung on and missed. 14 strikeouts for Mariners pitching here tonight as it takes its road game and its second win here at Eldridge Park this season, winning 12-2 as the Mariners move to 4-3 on the season, and Sean Hard comes away with 2 innings and only gives up 1 earned run, as it was a solid start out of Sean Armstrong, the Old Dominion product, with 6 innings, only giving up 1 earned run.
Yeah, you'll take it. We'll get more into it in our post-game show, but a great team win. Can't complain with anything Harwich did. If they played everything like this, they would be dangerous. So hopefully this isn't the start of something special, or else the league is in some serious trouble.
Harwich wins with 12 runs on 13 hits, only 1 error committed. Meanwhile, the Firebirds dropping to 2-5 on the season, scoring 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, as the Mariners get a huge night out of Lorenzo Carrier, getting ahead 3-0, and it would be all but nothing but success from there. The Harwich Mariners win 12-2. We'll step aside. Harwich Mariners baseball is coming your way with our post-game show here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. 12-2 win for the Mariners over the Orleans Firebirds here at Eldridge Park. 12 runs, 13 hits, 1 error for the Mariners, 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Firebirds here. In a ball game that lasted 3 hours and 1 minute. On a beautiful night here in Orleans, Massachusetts, the Mariners take their second victory at Eldridge Park this season, moving to 4-3 on the season, only a half game out of first, behind Yarmouth Dennis of the Cape Cod East Division standings. Wyatt Kopelman and Devin Dobeck here with you. Devin, you look at the hitting that came alive for the Mariners here tonight. 3-run blast early from Lorenzo Carrier. His first at-bat, his first hit, he crushed it over the left field fence. But more importantly, or equally importantly or so, you consider that you get 1 earned run only out of Sean Armstrong, a dazzling second outing on the season, 7 strikeouts in the starting nod. Then they go to Colin Rothermel for a strong seventh inning of work. 8th and 9th innings all belong to Sean Hart, aside from giving up a 2-out RBI base hit, and the pitching cruised and really passed the baton off well.
I mean, you can go up and down this lineup. Everybody contributed. Actually, everyone in the lineup scored except for Fitzgerald and Camarillo. So plenty of guys coming around, everybody doing their part, pulling their weight. Carrier's first swing, not even his first at-bat, his first swing as a Mariner was out of the yard. He also walked, came around, and scored, doubled. Kennedy Jones with a grand slam and a double. It was fantastic. A lot of guys in this Mariners order really stepped up and delivered. And this is the exact kind of thing that we need them to continue to do throughout the rest of the season. They put up 10 runs last time here at Eldridge. This time they put 12. They're really hot in this ballpark, which is crazy when you consider that coming into today, they'd scored 25 runs. 10 of those had come here. And just like that, 22 of their now 47 runs have come at Eldridge Park, 2 of their 7 games. So got to find a way to spread that out a little more. But you'll take it for now. This is a great team win. And, yeah, you talk to the pitching. Armstrong, unbelievable. Goes 6 full, gets the win, and much deserved for him. Really happy. He's now at the top with 2.
Season high 13 hits for Harwich, giving them 12 runs, bringing you through the scoring here tonight. Lorenzo Carrier of the Miami Hurricanes of the Atlantic Coast Conference, a 3-run blast in the second, and a 2-out RBI base hit from Matt Scannell of Princeton, giving Harwich a 4-0 lead going into the 4th. But Harwich continued to find scoring options, a sacrifice fly from Seaver King, now of Wake Forest. Back in the 4th inning, moving on to the 6th inning, it was a huge opportunity for Harwich to score with 2 on. Brian Arndt coming across the score on a double steal attempt. It was 1 run on 3 hits in that inning, 2 runs in the 7th, 4 in the 8th, on what was a grand slam from Kennedy Jones of UNC Greensboro before the Harwich Mariners went scoreless and down in order in the 9th. It was a 12-2 win for the Mariners, who have now scored a combined 22 runs here at Eldridge Park against the Orleans Firebirds this season after just going 2-4 in the season series last season. Harwich going to 4-3 on the season, and the Firebirds falling to 2-4. You consider how this carries forward, Devin, with the run production that the Mariners had, and we'll have to really counter that going into tomorrow against the Cotuit Kettleers, who have been red hot in the standings. First place atop the Cape Cod West standings.
Yeah, the Kettleers, they know how to do it. I believe 17 championships for them in the Cape Cod Baseball League. That's the most by far, and they're just fantastic. They got loyal fans that are crazy in a good way for the Kets, and Lowell Park, a beautiful venue, really excited, but the Mariners going to have to bring their A game. They played well there last year, but of course, whole new team this year pretty much, and got to find ways to have that consistent offense to be something you can rely on throughout the ball game. We'll be just very excited to see Kettleers moving in on 6-1 to start the season, so it's going to be a tough customer. Looking forward to it tomorrow at 5 o'clock.
Sam Armstrong, he moves to 1-0 on the season. Credited with the win after going 6 innings, only allowing an earned run with 1 hit, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. He pitched on opening day against the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox, but did not get credit the win as he only went 4 innings full, despite getting 6 strikeouts as well. Armstrong, the Old Dominion product, given the win. Meanwhile, Cam Leiter, now of Florida State, charged the loss after allowing 4 earned runs, 2 hits, 5 walks, 3 strikeouts dealt through 2 1/3 innings. He goes to 0-2 on the season after getting tackled the loss last time here at Eldridge Park against the Harwich Mariners. No save opportunity here for tonight. The Mariners scoring 12 runs on 13 hits, 1 error, leaving 6 on base. Meanwhile, the Firebirds scoring 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors, and leaving 7 on base. Firebirds only 2 runs on the night, just coming back in the 8th and the 6th innings. Eddie King Jr. scoring both on a wild pitch in the 6th, And then on a 2-out RBI base hit from Matt Holbach, the first baseman, hitting the cleanup spot here tonight. And that was all the scoring that the Mariners were able to allow. Harwich moving to 4-3 on the season. Orleans going to 2-5 on the year. The Mariners set to take on the Cotuit Kettleers in the second game of their 2-game road trip tomorrow night, the first multi-game road trip on the season. Devin, before we depart for tonight, Harwich now with 22 combined runs here at Eldridge Park on the season. You can only imagine what the message is from Steve Englert as he just picked up his 400th win last Wednesday.
Yeah, it's got to be continue to push the offense, put bats on baseballs, good things happen. They still were close to 10 strikeouts here tonight, which is something that you're going to want to reduce going forward. But you had the pop, you had 2 home runs, which doubled your total heading into today. The power came through, and everybody was consistent throughout the order. As I mentioned, 7 of the 9 starters were able to come around and score, and the other 2 were able to contribute as well. So if they're able to continue that, good things are going to happen. Mariners back in the win column.
We'll be back tomorrow night with the Harwich Mariners taking on the Cotuit Kettleers. That first pitch set for 5 o'clock over in Cotuit. Mariners making a trip back west as they now move to 2-2 on the road and look to go for that 3rd road win tomorrow night. But that will just about do it here. The Mariners scoring 12 runs on 13 hits, 1 error committed. The Orleans Firebirds falling to 2-5 on the season with 2 runs on 3 hits and leaving 7 on base. For my broadcast partner, Devin Dobek, I'm Wyatt Kopelman saying so long, and for our producer, Sean Sears, as well, guiding us through the night here in Orleans, Massachusetts. We say so long. High spirits here for the Harwich Mariners with a 12-2 victory. That's your score for one final time, as this has been a presentation of Harwich Mariners baseball. And the Harwich Mariners